What is this place?
One at Kitchen Gardens.
What is that?
That's another of them. There's another garden over at Wall and orchards to the side of that.
Can I go to them?
If the likes, but there's no to see.
What a nice, cheerful song. Sing it again. Please sing it again. Perhaps you're singing in the garden, the secret garden. Perhaps you're the only one that really knows about it. There must be a door. Somewhere there must be a door. I've been into the other gardens.
There were nothing to prevent thee.
I went into the orchard.
No dog at door to bite thee.
But there was no door there into the other garden.
What garden?
The one on the other side of the wall. I saw the top of the trees there. And a bird with red on his front was singing in the orchard. Come when you call him?
Aye, that he will. I've knowed him ever since he were a fledgling. He come out at nest into the garden. And when he first flew over the wall, he were too weak to fly back for a few days. And we got friendly. There.
What kind of bird is he?
Doesn't I know? He's a robin redbreast. When he went back over the wall, he found rest at brood had gone. He knew we were lonely. He come back to me.
I'm lonely.
Oh, that little wench from India? Well, no wonder that lonely. They'll be lonelier before that's done.
What's your name?
Ben Weatherstaff. Aye, come to that, I'm lonely myself, except when Robin's with me. He's the only friend I've got.
I've no friends at all.
Oh, well.
Ma didn't like me, and I never played with anyone.
Dear me's a good bit of like, then. We're neither of us good looking. We're both of us as sour as we look, I'll warrant.
What did he do that for?
What? He's made up his mind to be friends with you. Dang me if he hasn't.
Would you make friends with me, Robin? Would you?
Why, they said that as nice and human as if there was a real child, instead of a sharp old woman. Aye, they said it almost as Dickon talks to his wild things on the moor.
Dickon? Martha's brother? Do you know him?
Aye, everybody knows Dickon. I warrant foxes shows him where their cubs is hid. Aye, and skylarks don't hide the nest from him.
Oh, Robin's gone. He's flown into the garden where there's no door.
That's where he lives, amongst old rose trees.
Rose trees? Are there rose trees there?
There was, 10 years ago.
I should like to see them. Where is the door? There must be a door somewhere.
There was 10 years ago, but there isn't now.
But there must be.
None as anyone can find, and none as is anyone's business. Now, don't you be a meddlesome wench, poking the nose where it's no course to go. Yeah, I must get on with my work. Get you off and play now. I've no more time.
Why does everyone keep going away?
I've done that, Martha.
Hey, I'm glad you and me was chosen for working on this floor, John. It makes a change.
Well, if Miss Mary's manner this morning's anything to go by, I'd say it were a case of out at frying pan and into at fire.
Oh, Miss Mary, you're back already? I haven't finished doing your rooms yet.
I come in because it's much too cold to be out. If that's what gardens are like in England, and they aren't real gardens at all. Anyway, there's nothing to do, and no one to feel me.
Oh, Miss Mary, don't take on like that. Right. Come and sit by the fire and get warm.
Can't we think of something she could play at? A game of some sort?
What, we us? Oh, it wouldn't be right, would it?
Well, no one would know. Are there any cards?
Yeah, Mrs. Medlock brought up an old pack or two. They're in the cupboard over there. She thought Miss Mary might like to learn patience, it being a nice, quiet game.
Listen, Miss Mary, do you know how to play Animal Grab?
No.
Come on, I'll show you. It's a kind of snap. We're all animals, you see. And we have a pile of cards, and we make noises at other people at the same time as we get cards that are the same as other people's. Do you understand?
No. It sounds a very silly game, but we may as well try.
Come on, Martha, we're going to play Animal Grab.
Hey, well, I'll be a cow.
I'll be a chicken. What about you, Miss Mary?
Lion.
Oh, quick, Miss Mary, look! They just got cluck.
Oh. They're mine.
Oh, you've upset her now. Never mind, Miss Mary, we'll get it next time. Oh, John, what are you? I forgot. Chicken! I clucked first into Miss Mary. Come on, you might win the next one. Come on. John! Martha!
May I ask what you think you're doing?
Yes, you may. John and Martha were amusing me because I had nothing to do.
Martha and John haven't time to play games at this hour of the day. And they take their orders from me.
In India, Ma amused me when I ordered her to.
You're not in India now, Miss Mary. Never in all my years of service have I heard of behaviour like this. I could hear the noise in my sitting room. Now get downstairs, both of you. Go on, hurry.
Yes, Mrs. Medlock.
Now, Miss Mary, will you please play quietly? I've had quite enough trouble for one morning.
I wonder why everybody has to be so quiet in this house.
Springtime's coming. Can you smell it?
Smell it?
Aye. Earth's nice and fresh and damp. It's glad when planting time comes.
Is it? I thought there might be some flowers I could find.
There's a few snowdrops.
What are they like?
You mean you've never seen none?
No,
Hey, you poor lass.
I've seen lots of other flowers.
I don't doubt it. Well, snowdrops is small and white, and they hang the edge down, quiet like. You'll find some down by the water. There's lots of plants stirring in soil just now. They look out for little bits of green spikes sticking up out of the earth.
What will they be?
Crocuses and daffodils mostly. But I suppose I've never seen any of those.
No. In India, everything was wet and green after the rains. Plants grew up in a night there.
Well, crocus and daffodils won't grow up in a night here. Has to wait for them.
Why, there's the robin. Are the plants stirring in the garden where he lives?
Ask him. He's the only one that knows.
I wish you could show me into the garden.
Well, Susan, this is a surprise. I never expected to have company this afternoon.
I'm glad you didn't mind me coming so sudden, Agnes. Carrie had took me into Thwaite so I could pick up 1 or 2 bits of groceries. And as we were passing Manor Gate, I says to Elizabeth Ellen, let's drop in and see Mrs. Medlock and hear how our Martha's getting on as lady's maid.
Well, if Miss Mary's lady's maid would answer the bell, we'll have a cup of tea.
I wish I could understand your language properly. Thank you, Robin.
You rang Mrs. Medlock. Why, it's Mother.
Hello, love.
Hello. Oh, and our Elizabeth Ellen, too.
Martha, you may bring my tray of tea now, please, and an extra cup for your mother.
Yes, Mrs. Medlock.
What would Elizabeth Ellen like? A cup of milk?
Yes, please, Mrs. Medlock, Mum.
And while the kettle's boiling, you can take your sister to see the new kittens.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Medlock.
Come along, love.
Ben Weatherstaff, will you be working around here tomorrow?
I shan't be likely to be working anywhere but in greenhouse tomorrow. Rain's on the way.
Are you sure?
I don't have to say I'm sure. I just have to say that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, good.
Huh?
I mean, that'll be nice for you.
Talking a bit gormless. Look, I'd better go put them snowdrops in water before they wilt.
Thank you, Agnes.
Your tea's in your room. Now, make haste now. It's just that child.
One of the reasons I came round to see you this evening, Agnes, was to ask you if our Martha might bring Miss Mary with her when she comes home tomorrow. The poor little thing must be that lonely in this great house.
No, Susan. I know you mean it kindly, but I must say no. For one thing, the child's so disagreeable, I doubt you'd welcome her company. And for another...
Yes.
Well, for another, your Martha's been taught to hold her tongue about things in this place. But Elizabeth Ellen and the others are only children, and they're bound to chatter. And I can't be responsible for what might happen then.
I'm sorry you feel like that about it, Agnes. I keep thinking about her, the poor motherless little soul, and wishing there was something I could do.
You've got enough children of your own to worry about. That young lady's got clothes and good food such as your children have never had. And she can't expect anything more. Not while she's in a present mood, at any rate.
Can why that wall garden was shut up, John? You must have heard something about it.
Well, Miss Mary, it's not my place to tell you anything about it. And I don't see how you're ever going to get into it. But I do remember why it was shut up. And as it seems to be worrying you, I'll tell you, come what may.
I'll see you tomorrow, Mother. Get home safely.
Bye-bye, love.
Bye-bye, Elizabeth.
Bye, Martha.
Say goodbye to Mrs. Medlock, love.
Bye, Miss Medlock, Mum.
Goodbye, Susan. Thank you for calling.
Bye-bye, Agnes.
I'm sorry I can't see my way to doing what you suggest.
I give you my word, Miss Mary, I don't know where that key can be. Now, don't keep me any longer. You know what Mrs. Medlock's like?
I know what I think she's like.
They've been asking for you downstairs, John.
I expect they have.
Have you finished your tea, Miss Mary?
Yes, I ate it all. I was hungry.
Hungry? Hey, that's a change. It's all fresh air you've been having. Little bit less for a day or two, though. It's teeming down now.
Oh,
Hey, let's shut out wind and rain, shall we? Oh, my mother and Elizabeth Allen. They'll have a fair struggle getting home tonight. They stopped by for a bit of a chat.
do you think it'll still be raining tomorrow?
Very likely. Once rain sets in these parts, it stays for days. Ooh, I'll have a wet tramp of it more tomorrow.
Will you be away all day?
Aye, that I shall. I may even stay at night too. Mrs. Medlock said as I could.
It'll be dull without you. I've nothing to do indoors.
Oh, we'll have to think of something, won't we? I've had an idea. Would you like to try a bit of gardening when weather's better?
I'd like that better than anything.
Then our Dickon could buy a few packets of seeds and some little gardening tools. We'll write him a note. There's some writing paper over here.
I'll get it, Martha.
Well, I never. That's first time there's offered to do out for thyself since I first come.
Is it? But Martha,
Yeah, miss?
I haven't got any earth where I can plant seeds.
Yeah, no. And I doubt whether you could have none unless Mr. Craven gave you leave. But never mind. Let's be open.
This is such a strange house. Such a lot of things and not allowed. So many places locked up. Rooms. And even gardens.
Are you thinking about that garden yet? That's just the way it were with me when I first heard about it.
I know my uncle hated the garden. And I know he shut it up and buried the key when his wife died.
So you found that out. Well, when Mr. Craven were first married, they made that garden together. None at gardeners set Ben Weatherstaff were let to go in it. Ben planted roses and all sorts of flowers for her.
Yes?
There were an old tree in her garden where had a branch on it bent like a seat. She had a climbing rose trained over it and, oh, it were quite a little arbour up there. But one summer day, when branches were heavy with leaves, the bent branch cracked and broke. It fell to ground and she fell to ground with it. Mr. Craven rushed to her and carried her indoors, but she'd been hurt so bad that next day she died. That's why he hates the garden. That's why he won't let no one go in it. And that's why he buried Key.
I see. Listen, what was that?
What? I only heard wind.
That! The crying sound! Hush! It's coming again!
I tell you, it's wind. Sometimes it sounds as though someone were lost on moors and wailing. It's got all sorts of moods.
But it's not outside. It's somewhere in this house. It must be away down one of those long corridors. Martha, what can it be?
Now, if it wasn't wind, then it was scullery maid. She's had the toothache all day. Now, Miss Mary, it's high time you got ready for bed. Get started. There's a good girl.
It wasn't the wind. And it wasn't a grown-up person crying. It was a child. That's what it was. A child.
I'll just finish doing your bed, Miss Mary, and then I'm off. You'll, not bother Mrs. Medlock for anything while I'm away, will you? And you'll eat your dinner, same as you've been doing these past weeks.
I wish I could go out. What do you do in your cottage when it rains like this?
Try to keep from under each other's feet, mostly. Hey, our mother's a good-tempered woman, but she gets fair-moithered. Dickon, he don't mind wet. He says as he sees things on rainy days he doesn't see when the sun's shining. He found foxcrab and crow when they was half drowned.
If I had a fox cub and a crow, I could play with it, but I have nothing.
Oh, you know, that should be reading. That's old enough to be learning a good bit. If only Mrs. Medlock would let thee go into the library. There's thousands of books in there.
Time you're off, Martha.
It's Miss Medlock.
It's too wet for you to go out today, so you'll just have to amuse yourself indoors.
Can I go down to the library and find a book? I have nothing to do.
Go down to the library? Certainly not. Now go into your sitting room and be a good girl. I've far too much to do this morning to be bothered about you.
She's a pig. A horrid pig. I won't stay here all alone. I won't. I wonder who you were. I wish you were here. Oh, hello. Mr. Craven, my uncle.
Mr. Pitcher? I heard the coach. Mr. Craven's back, isn't he, Pitcher?
He is, but just for tonight. He's off again tomorrow.
Is he alone in the study?
He is, but he's tired and can't be disturbed.
I can't help that. I've had just about all I can stand.
A doctor, and now a nurse. Someone in this house is ill.